Hi, I'm Rico with Maker Code. With all these different types of robots, why would I need another? In this video, I'm going to go over what new robot I got and why I got it. Today, I'm showing my new robot that I just got. So I've had my R2-D2 for well over 10 years now. Then I bought a bunch of Robo Scouts. So I have, I think, 4 different ones that I plan to retrofit and make autonomous just to roam around. I have the Omnibot, the Tommy Omnibot, and they all kind of have similar situations. They're all wheeled robots with technically no brains. It's just a base chassis, but the chassis, then I can incorporate all my own electronics that I want, but there's still some limitations that I was running into. So I had the opportunity to pick up a new robot, and you may know what it is just based off the box alone. But yeah, my new robot added to the collection now is a Unitree Go2 Pro. So I've got this guy now. Pull him out. So let's turn him on. I've had him now for about 2 weeks, so I've gotten to use him quite a few times. So you hold the button down and he's on. Make sure I get legs just right so that the LiDAR starts to spin. He is still on his stock firmware. I believe it's 1.4. I've only just started to look at it, but there's a lot of options that made me interested in him. So what were those things I was looking for? So what did I get? I got the Unitree Go2 Pro. This is a robot dog. Don't follow me. So this comes with a lot of the sensors already baked into one package. And this will allow me to transfer all the knowledge I learned from this guy into things like my R2-D2 and the Robo Scout and the Omnibot. It has LiDAR, it has a camera, it has the ability to connect another set of single board computer or computing in general. So I plan to put a Jetson Orin Nano up here. I plan to put a RealSense R435 camera here. And what that will allow me to do is take the compute module, the Jetson Orin, and the D435 RealSense camera, and utilize the same on my Robo Scout and on my R2-D2. So whatever I learned from here, I should be able to transfer that knowledge over. And I know it won't be a one-to-one because those are wheeled robots where this is legged robots, but the general idea of there's an obstacle, stop, move forward, move back, left, right, that should all be there. And then also just doing things like object detection, slam, so mapping out the environment, being able to move through the environment. But where this thing will be utilized more is the ability to move in and out of environments. So things like obstacles in front of it, it'll have a lot better chance of moving around it. Going in and out of the house, going downstairs and upstairs. This platform will give me those abilities where my R2D2 or my Robo Scout or the Omnibot weren't giving me. So that's one of the main reasons why I got this platform. I got it with the extended battery, so that gives me more, we'll say. I don't know how much more, but I would assume double the amount of time I could use it. Again, if I'm going up and down stairs or if I'm making it run a lot, I'll be able to do it longer. I don't know exactly the amount of time. I haven't even really taken it out for a walk yet. One of the things is it has rubber feet, and they give you replacement rubber feet. So I'm assuming these will wear quickly for them to have to just give it to you right out of the box. Charging it, I charge it overnight. It is a huge battery. But the nice thing is that there is power output in this little port that you can open up here. And this is where they put in the EDU version the compute module. So there's an S bus, I believe it's an S bus connector, and then also a power connector. So I can utilize on the Orin here power. So I'll have that, and then again the camera will be mounted here, and there are holes, not really mounting holes, but there are holes here that I don't know if I'll utilize. I might just build it all into this back plate, but we'll see how that works. Maybe there is already an STL file, and I will then drill out these holes. I'm not 100% sure yet. But yeah, this just gives me a little bit more versatility about moving in and out, and more just starting with the base package, where my R2D2 and my RoboScout just they don't have that base package. And then the next thing I've already started working on is there is also WebRTC communication with this. So when you use the controller doesn't have any video feed, but the app does have video feed. So you're supposed to use this as a Bluetooth controller connected to the app, and then you can control this and also visually see in the app what's going on. Well, you can get that same feed directly from it. So there's two ways to connect to this device with the app, with the Android or the iPhone app, and that's either doing a direct link local communication. So this guy will create a Wi-Fi hotspot, and then you would connect with your cell phone to its Wi-Fi hotspot, or you can connect this guy to your home network. So then this would be on the network, the app would be on the network, and then they could also talk to each other that way. But with that being on the network, it allows you to not only just use the app, but use any WebRTC client to get the video feed, get the LiDAR feed, get the sensor feed. It tells you where the positions are on the legs. It tells you just in general status information. It tells you, some already wrote the whole point cloud, so you don't even have to figure out a whole point cloud. You just get the feed from the LiDAR, and then the point cloud is already generated for you. And then I've taken it one step further already and taken the video feed and use RF object detection. I've already used YOLO in the past, so I wanted to try something different. But in general, object detection. So with the Orin, I tried this on my Mac. It's a little slow, it does a lot of screen tearing. But with the Jetson Nano, a little slow. Jetson Orin Nano, more than enough compute. I actually slowed it down to do object detection every 10 frames. And I haven't even calculated what the frame rate is yet on that. But in general, at 10 frames a second of actual object detection. So the screen is refreshing constantly, but I'm only looking for an object every 10th frame. More than enough to start seeing objects. And when it's moving around, there's no screen tearing, there's no lag or delay, there's no processing issues right now. So I know that can work. Now it's take that plus some additional sensor information like the LiDAR and kind of build a whole package around that. And then hopefully utilizing that same code, make WebRTC now on my R2D2 and RoboScout, and then do the exact same thing with the code. The feed is coming in on WebRTC, ID code, and then send back information to R2D2 or RoboScout in the same way that I would control it here. So that is the main plan. This already works. R2D2 technically works. RoboScout technically works, but they work very rudimentary hand control with a controller also, just like this, hand control. But this is already taking it one step further with the full ROS, with the full sensor suite that's already outputting data. So I don't have to go through all that. I have to add sensors to the others. This one already had it. So big reason why I went with this. It's a little more expensive than I would have normally got for robot, but this one just had all those additional features that I couldn't build myself. To build this actuators, there are 1, 2, 3 different actuators in this one assembly here, and you gotta imagine each one of these with the controller board is going to be at least $100. So just in this right here, we're looking at over $600 just to get the rear. Then you got the front. You also have to design it, get it all working, get the AI to make it actually walk stable. We're talking lots of development time, or just buy it out of the box like I did with the RoboScout, like I did with the OmniBot, so that I don't have to deal with all that kind of stuff. Let's get a moving platform, and then I'll deal with the sensor harmony there. So what makes this robot different from my other robots? First, it's a full working base system. So cameras included, lidars included, sensor management is there, ROS2 is already running on it, and it's used by academics and industry right now. So as far as sensor management, sensor ideas, it's all there. So that was one important thing. When I'm running my R2D2, when I'm running with this RoboScout, when I'm running with any of the other ones, I'm basically starting from scratch. In the R2D2 community, we do have some electronics, but they're very basic. They're more on the emotional side of things. So all the lighting, the creativity of communication with it, as far as lights or projectors or movement or sound, but it's not intended to just roam around. When I've taken this to Comic-Cons, one thing I do have to be conscious of is running over little kids' feet. They want to jump at it right away. They put their feet underneath it, and I may run something over. So I'm always in full control. I can't just let this thing roam around. That's where the RoboScout was supposed to come in and be a miniature platform for me to build off of. So I would start with this guy, small form factor. It can run into things. It's not really going to cause any damage. Build a sensor package for this, and then migrate it over into the R2D2. That's the plan. Wheel systems are roughly the same. 2 motors controlling the wheels to make it drive forward. And that's about it. So cameras are kind of open to any camera I'd like to use. And there's really no IMU or anything like that right now. So again, I have a lot of flexibility. The problem is I have a lot of flexibility. So trial and error. I'm gonna have to go through all these things. This guy already has all that stuff, plus a lot of additional things that people have done. So I really wanted something that had a base set of sensors that people have already utilized, have already started to play with, and have already started to build off of to make that kind of autonomous movement. So first and foremost, I got it for that, so that I could actually utilize it in that way. Second important thing for me is in this movement, one of the limitations I have with my R2D2 and any of these wheeled robots is stairs. I am limited in keeping it in this environment as far as one level. Wherever it starts, that's where it's going to stay. When I take this to Comic-Con, the nice thing is there's wheelchair ramps, so I can get around by utilizing all that those ramps. But in my house, I can't just bring it in my house, then bring it out to the garage. It's stuck. It's stuck where it's at. Same with this guy. So then I built another car, this robot right here. And this one is just taking two chassis from a RC car and extending it. And then I ran this with the Arduino Pilot, so my drone system. So that had GPS and stuff. And I was able to roam around the backyard and go up and down stairs. But these tires being not grippy enough would do a lot of slipping on the steps. So it wasn't very functional going up and down stairs all the time. So again, that limited me to one location, which isn't a total bad thing, but one of the things I wanted to do is just kind of roam around and find things for me. So I could say, go find the cat and let it roam around the house and find the cat. The cat may be outside though, and that's where these things then would have to stop and say, I couldn't find it in the house. Where now with this new RoboDog, I can go inside and outside. It could just roam around, which I like. And then last, what's nice about this guy is just like the R2-D2, when people see it, they're intrigued. They want to learn more. One of the big things I like to do is show this off to kids. I want them to be able to touch it. I want them to be able to feel it and not worry, especially their parents saying, hey, don't touch it, you're going to break it. When I take these to Comic-Con, the R2-D2, things will break off. I know that. I'm not that worried about this piece breaking off, this piece getting ripped off. Next day, I find a way to mount it back on, get it back out to see more kids. And kids then, they get more intrigued, they get more excited. They want to learn, they want to understand how things are working. How does this open? How do these move? How does the lights move? How does the head move? All these little details that then make kids want to do more science stuff. So I built this R2-D2 to be durable. Durable and breakable, so that if things do break off, they're more of a breakaway. They'll break, but then I can go back and repair it. And just in transporting it, I have to tear it down a lot. So the head comes off, the legs come off, the feet come off. That way I can get it into my car and transport it home for the next day. So if something were to break, it's already in a disassembled state anytime I move it anyway. So with this guy, he's a little more durable. He's gonna handle a little more abuse. Where this guy right now, it was meant as a novelty toy, so it's kind of rigid in a lot of ways. So if things were to break, it's not very easy to just go in and replace these parts. And I've had to replace a lot of parts on this so far. A lot of this was all rubber belts, and the rubber belts were more just like an O-ring style rubber belt. And so with these rubber belts, I'm gluing them. The glue doesn't hold very well. You got to get it perfectly centered. I've made jigs to kind of glue these together. But you can imagine the hands move, the feet move, the head moves, the arms move, everything moves. And I've got all these old belts that have either died just from being old rubber pieces, or the glue bond has, where you melt them together, is broken. So I've even gone to the extent now where I 3D print them, so there's no glue seam, so there's no edges I have to worry about. So I've done a lot of 3D printing of just those kind of pieces. And then in the back here, the electronics are there so that I can put like a Jetson. So I have the Jetson Orin and the Jetson Xavier. So the plan is to utilize it here, here, and here, all the same electronics. So again, this can then run the Jetson Orin, this can run the Jetson Orin, and this can run the Jetson Orin. The logic is roughly the same between these two: motor controls, sensor management. I plan to use a RealSense camera in here and here, but I can also test the RealSense and put the Orin in here to start testing out that object detection and navigation with it also. So I have a lot of options. There's a lot of expandability in this. Underneath this port here, there is power, and I believe it's S-Bus. But then there's also a whole WebRTC interface that you can utilize with this, and ROS 2, all wirelessly. So this thing has a lot of external communication for all the sensor management already there that I get to utilize. So for now, I have the controller. It moves well with the controller. It does all the tricks. I don't have the app open right now. Like I said, I haven't even done the firmware update. I plan to do that and then do some hacks to it so that I can put a Jetson Orin on it, and then put the RealSense camera on it, and then start playing with that, and then migrate it into this one pretty quickly with the exact same features. So put the Jetson Orin and put the RealSense camera on here and see how much I can transfer knowledge between the two. I don't expect it to be one-to-one, especially since this is a two-wheeled thing and this is a four-legged thing, and most of this leg movement I don't really have control of. So the leg controls and stuff like that will just be me saying go forward, go back, go left, go right. Same thing will be for this. I can say go forward, back, left, right, object in front of you, so stop, things like that. So then that's the next plan of attack. So yeah, this is the Unitree Go2, and there'll be a lot more information on this in the future. So like and subscribe, keep up with what I'm doing, and I will get back to you. Next video will be on the WebRTC and how I got just the quick and dirty version right now of object detection to work on this guy. Also the lay robot, I'm gonna start doing the recording on that. I have a lot of variables I've been adding to it. So I have different colored bottoms, and then I also am going to be playing with the end effectors, so putting tape on them to give it some texture, and then also doing like a plasti dip spray paint on it so I can give it kind of a rubberized. So this is Rico with Maker Code. Please like and subscribe, and I'll keep pumping out this content. Thanks.